In a quiet elementary school, a teacher asked a simple question to the classroom: "What makes your father special?" The students listed off international trips, new luxury toys, and sprawling houses. They were reading from a ledger of physical assets. This diagram represents the material economy. It is a system that trains children to equate parental affection directly to high monetary items. By focusing on what can be bought, this metric obscures the non-financial labor that keeps a family running. Under these rules, a parent's love is reduced to a luxury commodity, something to be purchased and traded. One boy in that classroom lived a different reality. His father worked relentless hours to cover the basic costs of survival. When his turn to speak finally arrived, he froze. He felt a sense of shame. He lacked the physical assets to show off, and the vocabulary to explain his father's worth to his peers. He lowered his head. He had internalized the idea that because his father's efforts lacked a price tag, they lacked value. Measuring value strictly through material wealth can erode a child's sense of self-worth before they even understand what money is. That evening, the boastful classroom was replaced by a dimly lit kitchen as the father returned from his shift. He sat at the table, carrying an exhaustion that reached into his bones after a day of physical labor. He had deep calluses and scars on his hands. His clothes were frayed and threadbare, the opposite of the luxury items the other children had praised earlier in the day. Watching from the doorway, the boy was looking at the raw, physical proof of his own survival. Despite the exhaustion, his father looked up and summoned the strength to smile for his son. In that moment, the boy's perspective shifted. This illustrates the invisible economy. Waking up before dawn and pushing through physical exhaustion is a massive daily expenditure. The father is using his energy to secure his son's food, safety, and comfort. The currency he is spending is his own body and his time. To the boy, the father's worn appearance was no longer a sign of poverty. It was a badge of immense expenditure. Parental wealth is found in the volume of personal sacrifice, rather than the accumulation of objects. The next morning, the boy returned to the classroom. His surroundings were identical, but his internal perspective had completely shifted. He raised his hand to finally answer the teacher's question. He acknowledged that his father did not buy him expensive things, letting go of the rules of the material economy. Instead, he told his peers his father gave him what mattered most: his time, his daily courage, and his love. The atmosphere in the room changed. The chatter stopped, replaced by a stunned silence. The superficial metrics of the classroom couldn't compete with the weight of that realization. When we look at the lifespan of physical gifts, the pattern is clear. Toys break, vacations end, but the impact of a parent's constant, steady presence stays with a child. To the everyday heroes, the parents who might not have material wealth to offer, but who give everything they have, a child will eventually forget the things you bought them. Their psychological foundation is built on the invisible wealth of your love.